Well, welcome, 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 welcome. How dangerous is that putting liquid near thousands of dollars worth of computer stuff? I might actually think about doing a new routine. So, welcome to Make Some Noise with me, Dr. Jong, and also we're going to get Andy here in a sec. He's actually all the way. I should probably talk over here so you can hear me. He's all the way in London right now, actually. So tonight we're going to be talking lots about guitar and doing lots of shredding. So please like and subscribe and share this, please. Share, 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 share. And here we go. Let's bring him in, the main man. How you going, sir?
Hello again.
So, how is London?
London is a wacky place. They opened the pubs on Saturday. They called it Super Saturday.
Wow, because
which I thought was awkward and really, really not catchy at all. I mean, if you take like the US, they've got the 4th of July. That's like Independence Day. You're like, hell yeah, that's like so strong. You got the UK, everything's opening back up. Like, let's call it Super Saturday. And everyone's like,
wow.
Oh, come on, man. But no, it's interesting because we opened the pubs back up, and then day one, like Soho, London was just absolutely rammed. Like one of my least favorite politicians in the world got back from US and went straight to the pub before his quarantine meeting was over. So I left him an angry tweet. I felt really good about that. Won't change anything, but I felt good.
Can you hear me all right if I just talk over here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, great. Loud and clear, bro.
Does that need to be in shot? Is that better?
Both works. Both work.
Cool. No, my like I probably headbutt it. So about the music. So is gigs started back? Because here in Oz, just the weekend just gone, I actually did my first gig. I actually played to 250 cars, would you believe? It was a drive-in. What was really, really weird that I've never experienced before is the reflection from the PA off all the windshields. Like,
oh, dude, what's that like?
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So I kept turning it up. Yeah, so I didn't expect to. Yeah, didn't expect.
Was that head-to-head shred?
That was with Mr. Scott Watman. No, I also play in an Eagles tribute band. So that was actually the gig that I did down the Gold Coast here in Australia. But I might, I just need to share this, and I'm really bad at multitasking, so sorry if I'm looking away. But I would, is gigging started back up yet, even though the pubs are open?
No, not really. I mean, the pubs are open, but everyone's encouraged to stay about a meter apart. And so far, the stories I've heard is everybody starts off that way. Everyone's very respectful to it, and then give it a few pints, and then, everyone's just kind of congregating in groups again. A friend I know said she felt very much like a school teacher, like going outside and telling the kids to move apart from each other, and then like as soon as she went back in, they're right back together. Wow. So no, I don't know when gigs are going to happen, but I guess probably not in the next. I don't know. Just a little while. Not soon.
Okay.
Cool. Maybe driving though. That'd work.
Yeah, because I did have to get the the permission, I should say, for getting all those people in and being distancing. And I guess the long and short of it is, I don't know, there's about maybe, let's say, 4 people in each car, so there was 1,000 people at the gig. So.
Wow.
But I guess the weird thing was that was just roofs that you could see. One of the guys in the band said, maybe you should get out and get on your roof. Maybe even make it more fun, get on someone else's roof, because that would get everyone out of their cars. Yeah. But I'm just trying to share this, and I don't know what I've done, but I can't share it. So we should go straight to some shredding. So all the way in England, Mr. Andy Gregory, you want to play some guitar for us? You just have to maybe hit that...
the disable audio, yeah.
Yep, and while you're playing, I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to do... You have to show us some melodic minor business, hey?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I won't take up too much of your time. I think I have to turn that down a bit. Okay. Tell me how this goes.
tasty, sir.
That sound okay?
Yep.
Like volume's all cool, flanging and stuff.
Yep. I still don't know why I can't share this, but I think, did you hit that little disable thing again?
I did, yeah.
All right, sweet. So, melodic minor. So, what were you thinking about when you were playing through there? Because I really like some of your lines there.
Okay, so I'm thinking about a couple of shapes.
Yep.
Let's see. I suppose I should probably. Hang on, if I play this way, is that okay?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, okay. So, back in Viscamp, me and my friend were nerding out about melodic minor, Locrian flat second, or Aeolian flat third, or just melodic minor. So, I like to think of it in shapes at the moment, just to get the color. So one of my favorite shapes at the moment is
Hey, Bobby.
and I'm tuned down to drop D flat, so I tend to eliminate the top string, so I'm only essentially using the other five.
Wow.
Which makes it hard to explain things harmonically, so if I make a really stupid mistake, then I'm really sorry. So if you're starting from, let's say, the 7th frets, you take fingers 1, 2, and 4, as though you were starting a Phrygian, and then on the next string, 1, 2, 4 again, but with tones in the middle. Next string 1, 3, 4, so you hit the flat 5 on what would be a B flat minor pentatonic, and then 1 string up, 1 fret up, again tones in the middle, and then on your top string 1, 2, 4. So if it's any clearer here. And I like that as a sort of starting phrase, or as a way to bring it back round into something like a familiar sound. So if you're jamming away, then it's kind of nice to sort of throw you out for a second before you get pulled back to something really familiar, like a pentatonic, for instance, which I tried to give up playing until I realized it's annoyingly useful.
I love it.
I mean, there's quite a few shapes I guess I've been getting used to recently. One of them is just quite simply to flatten the 5th, which is really cool. Of course, that's with a natural 5th there, but you get a nice contrast there. That's dead cool, and I can't explain why it's cool. I just feel like it is. So, like that really works over a harmony that's kind of maybe a little bit dense, or something like a minor 7 flat 5 kind of thing, or like an altered harmony. Sounds really cool over there.
Just want to unpack, that word altered and how you maybe use it, and over what kind of chord that you actually use the altered sound with. Just for people that are watching,
Sure.
The lingo.
I guess I started using it over just a vamp, which was like C minor 7 to G altered. And then, I would play it just round and round and round and try and work out where it fits and how it would connect with, say, a pentatonic or a minor scale.
Yep.
So I would start with that, because the altered sound, I still don't really get it. But I think a good way in is to start with a dominant 7 chord or an altered chord. But very much also a minor 7 as well. I like to play quite a lot of these licks over a minor 7, because quite regularly they feature a minor 7. So you've got a chord tone, which as long as you hit a chord tone eventually, you're sort of safe, Also, you went aha at the dominant 7. Maybe you'd like to unpack that.
Nice deflect. So I guess as a dominant 7, is it sound all right? Because it sounds a bit weird when I come around here. Oh,
sounds great, man.
Smash something already. So yeah, dominant 7 chord mean a functioning 5 chord. So I guess if we're talking about C major, C would be major, minor, D minor, E minor. Sort of 1, 2, and 3, and the 4 chord would be F major. So the 5 chord would be G7. So it'd be a functioning 7. Maybe this is not the forum to talk about secondary dominance. How we could actually unpack that even a little bit further and talk about how the melodic minor may be used on a secondary dominant. However, but just basic music theory per se, the 5 chord is the fun chord where you can play all these like really outside sounds and bring it all back together. And I like what you said just before about the minor 7, because you're doing a master's in music, right?
In performance, yeah. In guitar performance, yeah.
Wow, super shred. That's awesome, man. Fantastic.
Well, it was really cool because one of the guys we had on the course was he made the dean's list at Berkeley.
What?
Yeah, like that's why I'm good now.
Oh. Please share. What did you learn?
I guess the wisest thing that he said that I'm still not doing is he said, "Man, you just got to use your triads." So I still don't use my triads, but I would go to him because I was never thinking melodic minor before, and I went to him. I was like, "Oh, mate, I was I was playing like Dorian major 7 like on a jam track last night," and he's like, "Oh, so you're playing melodic minor?" I was like, yeah, I was playing melodic minor." So the thing I got from him were like, nail your triads, nail your melodic minor, like your modes of melodic minor, like sort of equate to melodic minor eventually. So don't take yourself too seriously and don't go too much into detail unless someone really cares. And the last one, which he eventually changed his mind on, but he said, you got to play with your balls, which I think what he meant by that is you've got to mean it when you when you play it. So like, when you see like the guitarist and like he's up on stage and like he's just like making all the stupid faces and just going for it like that, that guy's playing with his balls. Whereas if you got the guy who's sort of quiet, he's probably doing it, but I don't know. So yeah, he taught us that, but he was not particularly, I don't know, like wasn't particularly wordy about it. Just said a few bits, and like that was like a nugget of information that you would go and explore by yourself.
Yep. So how did he make the dean's list for Berkeley? Because that's quite...
Just by being amazing.
Yeah, right. So he's just mind-blowingly awesome?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And does he have like records out? Does he have like the business side? Because, as we both know, there's two sides of being a musician. You can be amazingly whatever you do technically, or can you sell?
Let's see. He's got a very active Instagram account. I think he's currently working on an album. He's been doing a bit of session work whilst he was in London. He's back home now in Cyprus.
Wow.
I wouldn't know what these albums are called though, so I couldn't tell you that. But
yeah, right. Okay. So, all right. Well, I might do some playing in a second. Sorry, I'm still sharing it to about 55 groups. So if anyone's watching, please share it around.
Share it to those 55 groups.
I need a secretary, I think,
you need like someone behind you on a desk with a...
Yeah, because actually all these shows is just me. Like with my live streams, I have a band. I'm not sure if you've seen any of those live streams.
I saw a few.
Yeah, I have a mate. He comes across. He's the video jockey, so that's taken. It's not a disc jockey. He's a video jockey because he's just taken. He's mixing video live on the air, so everything is live 110%. So that'll do. I've shared it a few times, so if anyone is out there, please like and subscribe and share. So let's bring the shred.
Should I mute here?
Yeah, you can for a sec. Yeah, because I will. I'll just turn on my melt face patch. How's the levels there? Is that okay? Is it okay? Bring the metal. So this backing track, Andy just sent me. And so, Andy, you're going to have to play over this one in a minute. And so this is called Blind Playing. I have no idea what to expect. We'll see what happens. Probably a YouTube ad will probably happen this one. Oh man, I obviously jamming on this jamming on this stuff. The rhythm section's moving on beat 4, and as you could probably tell, I missed both of them. So, your turn to play on this track. This track from England.
Same track. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I don't know where this guy's from. I think this guy's Scandinavian.
Not playing with your balls, apparently, Bobby.
Say what?
Oh no, that's what you said before. You got to play with your balls. Yeah.
You got to play with your balls.
Okay, I'm muting.
Okay. All right. So.
I forgot to send meat on it.
Just let me know how the level is, yeah? I won't start playing with any balls until we're all satisfied. Only then will I get them out. That's probably enough of that nonsense.
Oh, that was awesome. So I need to practice with my balls. Someone said. There we go, Keith. And
Yeah, you. Yeah.
there you go. That's awesome. Man. But
Yeah.
He was playing drums here the other night, so you got a fan.
Cool. I missed that. What happened?
Oh, you just said it's amazing. He says it's awesome. Oh well.
When he was playing drums. I mean, thank you very much, Bobby. That's very kind. What was happening when he was playing drums?
Bobby has all the tricks, so you need to check out the stream. I'll send you a link. So I think I found another one.
Okay.
That was great, man. Playing over those changes. I don't even know what the changes were yet. I just.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right. That's good. Can you hear that one all right?
Yeah, I'll mute myself.
I'm going to send it to you. And here we go. So here we go. Did I hit the right button?
I still wonder, like, what is this? How does that work?
Well, you have to have lots and lots of coffee, which I haven't had today. So, as you know, you rang me, and I was still video editing, so I'm still warming up. But
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, I think it's like a percussive thing. So I've got this other thing that I've been working on. I need to get, as I said to you, I was mucking around with my Helix, and I thought, who really needs all these like user presets?
Mm-hmm.
Like it comes factory. So
Yeah.
I deleted them all. And anyway, it comes to light that you probably should keep the factory presets because then you can copy and paste. Because rebuilding them from scratch.
Well, yeah, and someone got paid a lot of money to make them sound really good.
We need to get Thibault. Yeah, he makes them. So here's this. Should turn the wire off.
Oh, so you're hitting harmonic?
Yeah. That's it. Can you hear that
all
right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to work out because you seem to twist your hand this way, and then you'd have to twist the other way again, which is impossible. So you must have to do that to that, and then switch from that to that, right?
Yeah, but I do it really. So I showed Tommy Emmanuel this trick, and he says, just give it a year or so, and you just do it. So this is the new trick that I'm working on after the elbow, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, microphone needs a seatbelt. So it's.
I mean, for what it's worth, that's your trick. Like, you can have it.
Yeah, I was planning to. So, so what about yourself? You want to play over that track too? I think I sent that to you.
Yeah. Okay. What was it? That one there.
I forgot to do melodic minor stuff for you, but.
Oh man.
I was just.
That's all I wanted.
It's still warming up. Well, it's on my. Well, I'll turn it off.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try and start off slow. I'll try. Okay. Okay. Damn it! Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that were rubbish.
Oh, I think you did well, man. That was great. That was great.
I don't know. You know how you get moments?
Yes.
You get a few moments when you're like, that's super cool, and you need to remember what you did. Then you got the other moments when you,
Well,
I guess you put your balls away for a second.
What's been broadcast to the internet, so you can go back and relive those moments. So,
Hooray!
so we've got some Keith. There we go, Keith. I thought I was listening to Zappa.
So Zappa, wow. Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Great playing, man. Great playing.
Thank you very much.
I don't know how we're going on time, man. 40 minutes is flying. It's flying. So.
Yeah.
As I said to you before, I'm still dialing in my patches after I creatively deleted them all. But, you know, who needs those patches anyway?
Yeah. It needs patches when you got chorus and delay. I'll save you for everything.
Yeah, I love all that. Yeah, you got that too. So with the plugins you're using with the Neural DSP, how are you configured it? Like, what emulation are you using?
So I'm using the Pliny archetype because he's got one of my favorite sounds. And so in the archetype, you've got a nice clean amp head. You've got like a crunch amp head and then a high gain. And my favorite has to be the crunch. It's really nice. You can get some really gorgeous details on, for instance. It's really good for noodling around, pretending you're Miles Davis, and it's actually quite compact. There's not too much going on, which I like very much. So the effects I have access to are simply compression, overdrive, reverb, and then tape delay, basically. So I'm essentially just using tape delay and reverb. But unlike yourself, I kept all the factory presets and then modified them slightly to just to sound a little bit more like how I want to sound. I mean, I didn't want to rip the guy off. So yeah, I found that what really helps is to keep the gain as low as possible, because it gives you a real clear sound, but you're also not having to, like always compete with string dampening and stuff like that, which I'm still not great at, let's face it. But yeah, I'm just quite simply using this for most of what I'm doing.
Yeah,
it's
cool, man.
astoundingly good.
And do you use it live as well?
Not yet. Although, as I'm reading up about it, it seems to be very possible to use it live.
Okay. Because I think you would plug it into like do you have like QSC wedge, like a full range wedge?
I don't think I have one of those yet.
All right, so it's just a speaker bin. So instead of buying a guitar amp, you just buy a PA speaker.
Oh, right. I see. Yeah. Well, I could try and steal my dad's again. But otherwise, I don't have any.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I think that. What was I going to say? That with doing the gigs, like what kind of gigs were you playing? Like that would have this kind of stuff, or have you not really done your record yet, or?
Well, for my stuff, I've got my my mix and master coming in this week, so I've not been able to do anything with it just yet. Beforehand, I was taking around a Boss ME70 on a little pedal train board, and then that would act as like the brain, so you can quickly change between like a lead tone, a rhythm tone, and like a clean tone. But if your lead tone's got delay and reverb, and let's say a bit of chorus on it, and you want to go straight from there into a crunchy rhythm, then you can just press one button instead of having to. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just feel certain, I've been watching too many like international speeches. Everyone's got all the little like hand gestures and stuff, and all really stupid. Anyways,
sign language. Or?
No, I just mean like, what the hell does this mean? No idea what that means. No idea what this means. But anyways, yeah. So I'd have the brain there, and then a couple of additional effects around it. So just a bit of compression if I needed it for if I got lazy. And then over the top, I'd have a rotary pedal, a Big Sky reverb unit, and then just like a DD3 by Boss. So then you've got a brain that can do most of the work for you. And then if you want something a bit more specific, like a really big reverb, for instance, you can just chuck on the Big Sky, and you're good to go. So beforehand, I was just lugging around this ridiculously heavy case with this ridiculously light guitar, which sort of defeats the purpose, really.
Yeah, I've got one of those guitars right there.
Is that, which one are you pointing to? Oh, right, yeah.
Strandberg.
Why is it behind everything, Doug? That makes me sad.
Because you're so light, I could like hang it in between two. That's the tennis racket one. It's only like 2 kilos. But yeah, no, it needs to be. I need to have the intonation. I need to set it up. So I had some hardware changed on it, so
all right.
I'm very, very, very particular about the intonation. So as you can tell on this one, clearly.
Okay, so run us through some ideas that you would do. Like you're going in for a practice session. Like what would you be working on besides the flippy hand harmonic thing?
So I'm glad you said that. So there's two things: there's growing your ear. So
Sure.
obviously you can do a drone thing. So if I get out of this sound, whoop, I don't think I can get out of that sound anyway. So if you've got an A, I don't know, maybe you can play your whatever scale you want to play. If I do Aeolian, maybe. But obviously I would have that on a jam track or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a lot of scale playing doing my jazz degree. And then I know this sounds ridiculous, but I wanted to do something else other than just play those flavors, but then just be totally reactive to the music.
Mm-hmm.
And if a flavor came out, the flavor came out. If it didn't, it didn't. And this is really hard to describe because it's like learning how to drive. So, when you learn how to drive, you can either drive on the road and, play by the rules, or you can jump the gutter and, go sideways and go wherever you want. So
Is that how you drive?
you need to come for a ride on the Harley, man.
No.
So, yeah.
If it's anything like how you play guitar, then absolutely not.
So I know that's really, really strange comparison maybe, but yeah, maybe being more reactive. And I think you go through stages, ebbs and flows, so that I guess, the more you learn, the less you know. So music theory is just that. It's a theory, right? So whatever you're working on, you learn something, you go, oh, wow, but I want to focus on this at the moment. And I'll focus on this, or I'll focus on this. And I think, as you were talking before about being in performance mode, like what I'm really practicing at the moment is trying to switch instantly into that, Zen state, to be flow state, I guess, to be totally connected with what's going on in the band.
Yeah.
But how do you practice that by yourself? You can't, so, and well, technically we're doing it tonight with, well, I don't know, it's morning over there right now, but, going in blind and just like reacting to whatever you hear, good or bad, and just having a go. But it's a practice. So to answer your question, growing my ear, just reacting to things and see what comes out. So it's and then on the flip side of that, drilling. So when I'm learning a new scale, a new chord, I have this concept, like, so if I'm playing, Alan Holdsworth chord, or you can't even see the chord. So it seems pretty tense, because it is, where, there's a minor second in there. But if you're learning something new, instead of trying to play that with music straight away, I would learn the fingering per se, and then watch TV, and then do this thing here where you drill the left hand, right? Drill the left hand. Because, so this is the 10,000, time rule. So if I'm just pulse, and then while your conscious mind is focusing on something else, your subconscious mind is doing all the work. This is really, really deep level of educating, but when you drive a car, you don't go, oh my God, where's the brake pedal, right? So hopefully subconsciously you know where the brake pedal is when you go to stop a car. So I'm just explaining not so much content, but context of learning the content. And what else do I do? With my right hand, as you know, I actually spent years like trying to be light. And, and as you know, it's an art. And even Steve Vyers said before we were both there, his right hand slowed down, because I think he had an issue with his wrist or whatever. So then you have to work on the other side, So, just develop what you got. Everyone wants something that someone else has got. It just is, Go to a department store, right? Like that. Or go to a guitar store, So, have I answered your question?
You answered part of my question, yeah.
Okay. But music,
I guess. Sorry.
Oh, you go.
So, as you're learning different flavors, you could say, I don't know, spend an afternoon on a melodic minor scale, for instance.
Right.
And you could, as you say, play over a drone and then just repeat the scale up and down, up and down, up and down.
I got to.
But like, is that all you would do, or would you? I don't know. Would you like muck about with it, change the pattern, base it off of a formula, like what? Or are you just quite happy to sort of sit and do the thing?
A melodic minor, like... Cool. So what I would do is I'm very, very big on splitting the fretboard into 3 sets of railway tracks. So I might just go through.
Okay.
So this is just my concept. So learning cells. So if there's 3 sets of railway lines.
Yep.
Here's a cell. Here's G major, right? So, and if I do
Classic.
three, that was only up to the 5th. But if I go up to the 6th with my index finger, and I go 1 below, that's my whole major scale on 2 strings with 6 notes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7's always below, so that I can go up the octave. Right, cool. Why is this useful? Because then when you want to leave notes out, you can do these awesome arpeggios, which I didn't play any of before. So, however, anyway, so yeah, but to internalize, so if I was going to, do a strange arpeggio, I don't know, maybe if you want to make one arpeggio up, call the degrees out. 3 degrees.
Okay, let's go with root minor third. Let's go with minor third, sharp 4, 5th, minor 7.
So root minor third, sharp 4, minor 7.
So I guess like a minor 11, minor sharp 11.
So this is straight off the cuff. So root minor third, sharp 4, flat 7. Yep. Cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so that's straight off the cuff. So I'm really big on sorting out the fretboard. So when I'm internalizing a sound or learning how to play over a change, I don't know, that works for me. Does it work for everyone? Probably not. But I guess is the beauty of learning an art. It's what works for you. And so getting the sound down, I think, yeah, so I need to internalize it. Okay, cool, that's a sharp 4. So then if with this, the way I've done it, I mean, you've probably got a different way. I learn everything in cells, because if I learn it in a cell, it doesn't matter where I park. If I park randomly on the note, then I can play a major flavor. Cool. Or I can play a randomly Dorian with a major 6. Cool. Or Phrygian. Oh, that was Lydian, sorry. For the sharp 4. And why is this useful? I guess, when you practice targeting practice, that's right, get a shotgun out. No, just kidding. But when you're playing a change, then you know exactly where you are. And I think the secret of knowing exactly where you are, then you can set up the turn. So if you think of music as a journey of some descript, let's say a blues, you want to set up into the turn into the 4 chord. If you know your target tone, then you can set up an aggressive journey, or very, very, cool, calm, collected journey. Yeah. But what's your take on that stuff? Have I answered your question now? Yeah,
totally. Breaking into individual cells. I would break things into cells too. Less arpeggios, more like,
hey, Dom.
For now, I guess, like scaling stuff. And then try and miss some notes out so that it almost sounds like an arpeggio, and people go crazy.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. What was it the Per Nelson had said something like, all the kids want you to do all the outside harmony stuff, so all the grown-ups have to learn this shit. It was really funny. Anyways, so first off, I would take a jam track and I wouldn't look at the key that it's in, and then start somewhere. and then try and find a way back round home, which is dead nice because sometimes you come across like a different key center which fits over your current one quite nicely. I mean, in super simple terms, if I was playing over I should probably turn it down, shouldn't I? If it was over, say, B flat minor 7, and I played shit, what's that one? If I played this one, if I play it a tone up, let's go with that. I play it a tone up because words escape me, theory escapes me all the time. It sounds somewhat majestic. As an example, something I really like using at the moment, I did it a couple of times over your track from Quist, which is to take a pattern and then move it around based on the scale shape. So in this case, it's based over one string. For sake of ease, we'll take the pentatonic pattern. It's dead straightforward, of course. But if you follow let's say the Aeolian scale, then that's where you're going to move to. So you have this nice little oops. And then, you're back home, which is really cool, especially when you start to play the same shape over from the 3rd degree, because you get a really nice tension over that.
So you're playing an ostinato, but shifting it up the Aeolian scale, right?
Yeah, basically. And I think it fits really nice because you hit in this case, the minor 3rd degree of the scale, you get your tension. Then you hit your 4th and your 5th. And I've no idea if I'm right in saying this, but because you've got the perfect 4th and the perfect 5th, and you're playing a mathematically equal scale being the pentatonic, you hit over what would be the 4th degree, and it starts to sound a little bit like home, but you're not quite there. And then when you play it over the 5th degree, I guess it's like your dominant chord back to your root. It's a nice sort of, you're still sort of home. I imagine Jacob Collier would say something really, really smart about that, much more intelligent than myself. But also the drone thing you were mentioning, it's really good for figuring out colors and learning superimposition as well.
Yeah.
In fact, there was one I picked up recently from Charlie Griffiths of Haken, and it was to essentially string hop an arpeggio. You base it off of the cage system, and you essentially play the same arpeggio, but starting from a different, inversion. At least I think it was. But what sounds really cool is if you, instead of changing from, let's call it a pentatonic shape, up to, let's say, a Phrygian shape, you would then go to like a major pentatonic shape. But if you move that same shape, and you get a really nice superimposition and a really nifty little way into understanding what it sounds like, even though it's a super basic, I guess, concept. It's not.
So your arpeggio, you're doing like 1, 3. Are you on the 5th? Because you're in a different tuning to me. So, so you're doing 1. Like, oh, got the. Is that what you're doing?
Oh, okay. Let's take it as 4 and 5. Let's take it as roots, major 2nd, minor 7th, roots, No, this is all wrong. Okay, starting your A string. Let's go from, say, 5th fret. You've got 1, 3.
Yep.
Jump up to your G string. And then on the top string,
1, 4.
you hit the top of the pentatonic shape.
I got it.
It's not massively theoretical, but the way I like to think about things are in shapes. So then you would move to what would be the 2nd degree there, minor 3rd on the A string,
Right.
and then.
Oh yeah, cool. And just
Like this, yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, you it's based on the cage positions, and I can't remember much more than that. I'm really sorry, but yeah, it's based on your cage systems, and you essentially start your arpeggio from a different interval, so you get a different inversion each time, which sounds really cool. Which I decided to pop into a couple of the bits in that jam before, just to sort of make something sound a little bit shifty, a bit magical, a little bit like I'm really clever, but really.
You're doing well, man. You're doing well.
Well,
So, yeah, and besides arpeggio ideas, you know, what other ideas are your main go-to?
I guess something symmetrical, probably chromatic. And at the moment, it's normally about trying to go outside and come back in.
Okay.
I guess that's where I'm up to right now.
You're gonna have to with COVID around.
So if I start off dead simple with this one. It's just quite simple. You're just rolling around on that pattern, and you either move it randomly and hope that you sound like Alan Holdsworth, or again, you base it off of your scale shape. So if I take, let's say, a Phrygian shape starting from my 2nd string, so you have a symmetrical pattern, and then the hardest part is trying to figure out how it works, where it fits. Similarly, you would then try something chromatic. Then I would probably throw some tapping in. And then take out some chromatic notes so that you back to something that sounds a little more like conventional harmony. But again, I'm gonna stick to using some sort of method. And in fact, there was one that back in Viscount when we had that jam with Pliny, there was one that I threw out to one, see if you'd notice, but two, see if anybody else would notice. And it's dead straightforward. So let me turn my delay off, so then it's a bit clearer. And you quite simply, you run a chromatic line starting from each point of the scale. So whichever one was like, whoa! But it's the easiest thing in the world. You just go. Etc. etc.
Yeah, starting on the diatonic and adding the chromatic.
Yeah, essentially. So my pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I move it to somewhere within the scale shape. And awesomeness follows. But I was dead chuffed to hear that you drill things in whilst you're watching something, because to be perfectly honest, my regular thing is to chuck Friends on Netflix and then just sit and do this. And then, of course, cell work, like you were saying, if you take 2 strings. And just go back up and down, maybe an arpeggio shape. Because there are some really nice ones knocking around, but I've not necessarily got the fluidity and speed in my fingers, so I'll just turn the volume off so I don't like annoy everybody else in the world and just sit down and then try and talk during. It's really flipping hard because you're having to separate the 2 things apart. But if you can do it.
What are you doing with your right hand?
With the right hand?
Just pick. You're not using.
So I'm picking the strings. It's a 2-1 pattern. So 2 notes on one string, 1 note on the other. For anyone less familiar with it. So the right hand is just picking 1 string at a time. So etc. etc. like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Tell you what, there was something I picked up on recently, which was normally you'd transcribe someone else's solo so you can learn like the licks and stuff, or you'd go to the guitar magazine and you'd learn lick A, lick B, or something. I'm not a massive fan of learning licks because I feel like I would just become too compartmentalized over playing licks, which is why I use this pattern system instead. What was I getting with this? Oh, that was it. And there was a great little lick in one of the Plini tracks. It's a Jakub Żitecki solo, so it's all over the place, and it's like in major scale. It's insane. And he has this lick. And that's really clever because what it is it's a quintuplet followed by a sextuplet. Oops. So it's like dagga dagga da daddla daddla, dagga dagga da daddla daddla, dagga dagga da daddla daddla. So I learned this shape. Now that I can actually do it. Hey. So you learn how to do it and you get it nice and quick and stuff. Then I thought, what happens if I try it on the next string down?
So you know, a quintuplet and a septuplet, if you put them together right, is two sixes, right?
No, it would be 11 because you got 5 plus 6.
But 7 and 5.
Oh shit! Okay, right. Okay, whatever the French number for 6 is then. So it should be a grouping of 5 and a grouping of 6, so that you total 11. And then the challenge is to play that over 4, which is nuts.
Right. Okay.
On top of that, what I wanted to do was take this pattern and do the classic thing, which is just move it. So you're like, that sounds rubbish. That sounds a little bit better. It's kind of outside. It's a little bit nice, a bit mysterious. And then if you combine them together, something like this, it sounds really good. There's a nicer way to play it. But it's just a nice little lick that I stole and just modified a little bit. Sorry, appropriated. I appropriated a lick.
I love you.
And then modified it. So I've got a version which is a little bit outside, and a version which is inside. So I've got like 2 nice little options, and it's a really odd note grouping as well, which if anyone catches it, they caught something fun.
Man. Yeah, so I guess we covered a couple of things off there. So I guess if boiling it down is left hand motor skill, right hand motor skill, and then the the connection between both. I just made up a new word. Between both is a musical experience, right? So I really like practicing with other stimulus going on. And why is that? Because I can really see students who go to play and they practice by themselves. They have very little, you know, experience with playing with others, because they go stop, 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 and they go to replay their part perfectly. But as you know, with music, time is real and time is unforgiving. So if you miss it, you miss it. So you have to get back on the train. So I think the next step after that is playing it with a metronome and just going around the clock. So, and touching base on with multitasking. When you're multitasking, you're training your brain to actually be on with multiple stimulus of the senses. So I'm getting to my point. When I listen to podcasts, I actually listen to them at 1.5 speed. And there's people like, oh, that's crazy. You probably miss half of it. And it's probably true sometimes. However, after doing it for a while, and you slow it back down, like it's like, oh, come on, can you get to the point? Can you hurry up and get to the point? So what I'm trying to get to is that, almost like maybe who's from your land, Sherlock Holmes. Actually training the brain for music is I oversensitize auditory. Like put on two things at the same time. Can you look at your phone and look at the TV at the same time? Or they do this in basketball practice. Actually, I see the people playing basketball is they get a ball in each hand and they oversensitize your body. Like whoa, there's so much going on, because when it becomes game time, you can focus on your opponent and just deal with one ball, which is easy now. So what I'm saying is your practice needs to be harder than the gig. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you would do the for my day job, I'm a fitness instructor, and you would do a really, really similar thing, like you overtrain somebody for a competition or an event.
Right. Cool. If you're going to run a marathon, you'd run 43 Ks, not 42, right?
Yeah.
In practice, that is. Yeah. But I guess we're at an hour and 16. But if anyone's got any questions, so thank you for those people who've been hanging around with this awesome indulgent guitar stuff. I love it. All the way from London. So, and sorry about the delay, because I did advertise it about 40 minutes earlier than we started, but
well, I think I'd asked you like a day ago.
17.
You were like, I'm going to bed right now. Let's do it in 17 hours.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And I'm glad you messaged me, because I forgot we had that conversation and rock and roll. But if anyone's got a question, please ask Andy, and I can put it up now. And otherwise, we might shred out. We might do one more, maybe 30 seconds of another track, and then we're done. I probably shouldn't have cooled down, but anyway, rock and roll.
That's fine. We'll play slow.
Yes.
We'll play some slow stuff.
Is that slow enough for you? Did you hear that one? I think you might be on mute. I'm going to send it to you. Here we go. Rock and roll. Heavy metal. English. Heavy metal. Your turn for 60 seconds.
Oh, mate, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like Stig Matheson's catchphrase from Viscamp. Whenever someone was just like going really hard, he'd be like, get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
I miss that guy.
Oh, I forgot to do it on the double neck.
Oh, yeah.
Let me quickly do that.
That's very, very cool.
Tell us a cool story while I grab the guitar.
Cool story. Oh, God. Oh, God. I suppose there's nothing more pressurizing than being told to tell a cool story. All my stories suck. I don't know.
So what's going on? What's the first country you're going to visit after COVID is over? Because you guys are so close to each other, like you go to Germany or something.
Well,
Go see Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, the countries on my list I'd like to go to would be Poland, Australia. I'd love to go back to USA.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I've not really thought about it. I've been so stuck in playing scales.
All right, I'm just gonna have a quick shred on this, and then.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Over to you. I'm just going to zoom in for a second. There you go. Does that look all right? Does it sound okay? I think I need some longer headphone leads. Probably should have done some planning for this, but anyway, it is what it is. Here we go. turn, man.
How do I even follow that?
Oh, mate, you have no idea how heavy this is.
No, I don't. Okay. I'll have a go. I'll have a go. Mate, nah.
Oh, elbow. You're copying my elbow, man. That's awesome.
I had to.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
looks
it's
so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah. That's
Whoops.
awesome, man. We got Bobby here saying sensational, Andy.
Thank you very much, Bobby.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
But well, that's might have to be a wrap then. So thank you all for watching, and everyone that's going to watch it on the rerun, because that's just how. Oh yeah, the elbow action. Bobby actually did the elbow on the drums. Yeah, so when
What?
yeah, he has this other signature move with the double kick, and he looks like he's hitting himself in the head. It's actually quite cool. Yeah, so yeah, you'll have to watch his live stream. So we're going to be streaming on Saturday night. So I don't know, what day is it there in London now?
It's Tuesday.
So are we on the same day? So I'm 9:40 p.m. Tuesday. So what time are you there?
20 to 1 in the afternoon.
Oh, so it's only 8 hours, eight or 7.5 hours,
Mm-hmm.
or 8.5 hours. I can't really count, but anyway, I just want to say thank you for coming on. We should do it again, man.
Thank you for having me. I'll play better next time.
Oh, it's cool. Like me too. I had to warm up. I've got the heater on. It's actually really freezing cold. Do you guys have degrees, or you have the other thing, Fahrenheit?
We have degrees Celsius.
So it's 14 degrees here right now, heading towards 9. Yeah.
For us, it'd be like 19.
Oh. Anyway,
It's something of a very unusual heat wave at the weekend.
You've got a heat wave there. How hot is your heat wave?
Well, I mean, in like for Brits, it's a heat wave, so it'd be like 30 degrees.
30 degrees. Wow. I did gigs up in Mount Isa, man. It was 47. It's crazy. Yeah, out on the edge of the desert. Well, it is in the middle of the desert, the outback. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, out of control. Yeah, when your footwear melts to the tarmac, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's when it's. Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Well, please stay on the line, man. But we'll just say bye to Andy, and we'll just wrap this up.
Cool.
Do you have any socials? Do you have any socials you can name drop? You know, your Facebook page, website.
Oh, right. I see.
Socials as in social links.
Right. Yeah.
Social gatherings.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're only allowed up to 30 people at the moment.
Oh, we're up to 100.
Oh, I'm so jealous. So my my Instagram is at the bottom of my screen. The Andy_Gregory_ guitar.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna have a bit more attention paid to it. Long overdue when I release this EP. So there's not a whole lot right now, but there will be.
Well, we should do a record or something together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We have time.
I'll put something together and you can have a shred on it. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
All right, and vice versa. If you got something, if you want something crazy on there.
Yeah, I'm working on some stuff right now.
Get the electric drill out.
All right, then, Paul Gilbert.
Yes. Hey, Martin. And cool. All right, then. Well, please stay on the line, man. I'm just going to pull you from the feed and we'll sign off.
Yeah, cool.
So please like and subscribe and share this. And this has been inspiring stuff. And Andy is on the other side of the world in London. I'm in Australia for the London viewers. And I've got some new tech. And it's kind of cool having this mic, but it's just in your face all the time. However, I need to go and buy some wireless headphones because this is really, really annoying being on the lead. Anyway, go figure. So please like and subscribe. And this is Jong on Make Some Noise, and we'll see you all again. My gain is very, very low. Oh, it's because I'm not talking near the mic. I might have to turn the mic up next time. Thanks, Martin. See you again very, very soon.